Yeah, it's really concerning because no one saw it coming, especially it came after a period when they said over the weekend that they were ready for negotiation. But it's not unexpected because they understand that they cannot keep him for a long time. And they are just reading the script. I think it's a script that we've seen before in other countries like Myanmar, for instance. That was exactly what they did. They cook up, trump up charges against the president in order to imprison him because they know they cannot keep him for too long under house arrest.
Yes, as you say, it is almost the playbook of coup leaders, but it's very concerning for Mohammed Bazoum because, as you say, there could be trumped-up charges, but this is a crime punishable by death.
Exactly. The last set of people killed using the death penalty in Niger were killed for this same reason. They were convicted of treason and killed. So that is the fear now that they might take him to a military court and then indict him. Is convicted within a short period of time and executed. But I don't think he will be killed. I think they're just trying to keep him in prison for as long as possible, but because they know they cannot continue to keep him under house arrest.
Olayinka, you know, as it's been pointed out, the coup leaders seem to have no interest in negotiating through this. What do you think is driving their coup? What is driving this desire to upend politics and sort of life in Niger?
The main reason why they are not willing to negotiate is because they can see that they are getting more local support. So they're getting more local support. We are seeing that the message they are sending out through the radios, the online media, they've been able to recruit some online experts, which is really interesting because I've been following the media and especially the online space, and there have been a lot of rhetoric trying to convince people on why this is necessary. So that's one reason why they are emboldened. The second reason is because they are seeing that it's more difficult for ECOWAS to use force, especially because of the Nigerian stance. The senators in Nigeria have made it very clear that they are unlikely to allow Nigeria to go ahead with a military intervention. So this, coupled with the fact that they have support from Burkina Faso, Guinea, and Mali. So all these things combined have emboldened them in the last few weeks.
What other sort of negotiations could come into play to try and end this? And how do you see any transition back to democracy for this country?
Yeah, they're trying to get the sanctions lifted. So I guess what they will try and do is to get Bazoum convicted as soon as possible and then use that as a leverage to reduce the sanctions. So they might, for instance, send him to a life imprisonment and then promise to cut that to a few years if sanctions are lifted. So they're trying to use what they have to negotiate. And that is exactly what they are doing now. In terms of the long term, I've said it previously, I don't see Bazoum returning as the president because he won't be able to work with this crop of military officers, so that will be very difficult. What ECOWAS should be pushing is a very short transition period. So they should push for a short transition period with elections within 6 months to 1 year, which will also allow the military to save face and escape any form of punishment. I think that's the best bet now, the way things are looking.
Yeah. And what about the stability within Niger itself? They were already facing enormous challenges before this.
Yes, it's a big fear, not even just with Niger, outside of Niger as well. Niger has been a very reliable partner in fighting terrorism, Boko Haram, Islamic State, West Africa, and some other terrorist groups operating in the region. So it's going to be difficult. These are the things, again, they are using as leverage to push for negotiation. So the prices of food are increasing. They also understand that if they are unable to get the sanctions lifted quickly, public perception might shift against them. But at the moment, they are still riding on the momentum.
Yeah, really good to get your perspective on this. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.